On this week's episode, we talk about Karate Kid's legends.
Another pop culture news of the week.
This week, we got to see the newest, sequel, reboot, installment in the Karate Kid universe, Karate Kid's Legends.
You might think, and it's not a spoiler if you've seen the trailer. It gives you in the poster. It's more like a sequel to Jackie Chan Karate Kid. But on this one, they try to couple everything together. They join the universes. Not in a multiverse way, because everybody's doing that.
That's just crazy.
But using a good old, most of the time not good, but a old trick of storytelling, retconning the story to say, oh, remember when the character said that? That's what he
actually meant was.
And they grabbed them together. Overall, was fun. It was kind of, how can I say this? It was kind of, it feels like 3 episodes of a series, a mini series of 3.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Because it's like the 3 acts. They are very almost independent to the point that one is one story. The second one, the story changes, and the third one finally concludes. But in a way that it's, and I don't know how to explain. It's not bad. It's fun. It's just that they pack a lot, and they use a lot of the strategies of the first movies, and of course Rocky. There's hard elements from Rocky 4.
There's a lot of Rocky 4.
And Rocky 5, because the whole street fight, right? Technically not street fight.
It wasn't really a street fight.
But
it wasn't like a very formal, organized event that just like the venue was the street.
Yeah, but the formal organized events is like, did people pay to go there?
I mean, they didn't really get into that, and
exactly what I'm saying. Because
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a weird detail to get hung up on. But yeah, I mean. Yeah,
that's not the main thing.
Do people pay to enter? I mean, there's all kinds of ways.
I'm just saying to call it organized is a bit of a stretch.
Well, they had scoreboards and rule books and referees.
Okay, yeah.
And an MC who was a little bit much, if we're being honest.
But there's fight, there's kicks, there's butts kicking, butts
Kung
getting
Fu
kicked.
and karate.
Yeah. And there's a connection in between the 2 universes. The Daniel San, S-A-N, right? San. Daniel San, Miyagi universe. And of course the Han, Jackie Chan universe.
Yeah, and honestly, you could take out all of Ralph Macchio, you could take out all of the Miyagi-Do stuff, and have this same movie. Like, it wouldn't change anything. It felt like they had a concept, they had this idea that was kind of like a sequel to the Jackie Chan one. It works perfectly independently of everything that happened in the 80s and Cobra Kai and all that stuff. And then they just sort of like sprinkled some Miyagi-Do on top as like a garnish that doesn't really change anything at all.
It's like it's what would bring people to the movies, because
I guess,
but
I'm saying as far as the narrative structure concerned, to me it felt like in Chopped when they like in a cooking competition when they have an ingredient and they don't know what to do with, and so they just say like, oh, and I put that on top as a garnish. Like it has changed nothing. It is not contributing anything. You can get rid of it and you still have the same core thing. I'm not saying it was bad. It was still fun. It's always fun with, Ralph Macchio shows up and is like, here is the Hachimaki. And you're like, okay, that's good Karate Kid stuff. Does it change the narrative? Does it really have any big impact on the character? No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Oh, but it's just, it's like just how they started the movie, right? They have a scene from Karate Kid 2 in Okinawa in 1986.
Which was nice.
Just that. It's like, it's what brought people to the movies, because Jackie Chan, I love Jackie Chan. A lot of people love Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
But that Karate Kid movie he did with Jaden is like,
I enjoyed it. Granted, I only saw it, 2 days ago for the first time?
Yeah, but it's like, sure, a remake, but as remake goes, it's an okay one. It's not terrible. It's not great.
That's pretty good, but they fall to the classic problem of like remaking a movie that didn't need to be remade.
Sure, but and then you decide to make more of that without following the actual kid, a completely different kid.
Does anybody want to see more of Jaden Smith though?
No, I'm not talking about that.
Any more of any of the Smiths except for Will?
I'm not talking about that, but it's like you drastically change, and that was one of the reasons why Karate Kid 4 maybe wasn't as successful as the original ones, because the same thing, they changed into a new Karate Kid, and that was the change was even more drastic, because the whole karate is not for, I can't remember the proper words, but it's not for fighting, right? It's
right.
Like,
it's for defense.
It's for defense. In the case of Julie, that gets deeper into the Miyagi philosophy, but missing, Ralph Macchio, Daniel on the fourth one. It was like it felt like it missed something. So to move this sequel without Ralph Macchio, without the connections to Miyagi, it would be following the universe they creating on the Karate Kid in with Jackie Chan, and with all the movie had against itself already, to following that alone without the help of Macchio and the charisma that he has and the Pat Morita has and the whole story arc they created for them as a friends and father and sons, if you may. And bring that to help these new guys. I don't know. First of all, it wouldn't bring people to the movies, because one of the things that helped this movie, and I'm not saying it's a huge success, but it was the huge success of Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think this would have been made if Cobra Kai hadn't been such a phenomenon. Yeah. For sure. And that's probably why they wedged in the retcon.
Well, yeah.
As an excuse to bring in Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, excuse or not.
And tie in the Cobra Kai character. Even though
Jackie Chan was always wanted to work with Ralph Macchio, I guess. Excuse or not, I
don't blame him. Yeah. It's still... Anyway. So I feel like everything you're describing, though, is just that's an endemic problem with any remake, sequel franchise. Like, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And that's exaggerating. It's hyperbole in this case, but it's gonna happen. They made too many Karate Kid movies in the first place. 1 and 2, I feel like they probably should have stopped. But
the third one is amazing.
Is it?
Yeah.
The first one is it's a perfect iconic movie. It wasn't gonna get better after that. And
it still does. They go to Japan. Okinawa.
Okay, does it get better?
He got a Japanese girlfriend.
Does it get better?
And he does
It's a yes or no question, sir. I know. We have our little.
It works as a chapter.
Sure. It works as a chapter, but it's not improving, and they kept making him to the point where these just aren't good anymore. The Jackie Chan reboot, I'm just saying, it wasn't as good. Cobra Kai worked because we went in a totally different direction and we focused on Johnny, and it was funny and goofy pivot. And very tongue-in-cheek.
And then they pivot to the good guys.
Yeah, I'm not... But also, that should have ended probably a season or two before it did. I think it got stretched out. You could take out a couple seasons where they were just rehashing the same problems. So, taking in mind that these are inherent problems with the Karate Kid franchise, I feel like this was a pretty decent installment. They did different things. They kept some of the core, we're focusing on a young person who's at a pivotal moment in their life, a big change. They're feeling kind of lost. They're carrying some emotional baggage and damage, and martial arts and a mentor come in and help them find their way. But now we've changed it up. This kid's a little bit older. He already has some kung fu training. Um,
And that was a problem.
so some of the I disagree. I feel like if
The fact that he was trained in kung fu, and then.
Oh, and then they enter him into a karate tournament again.
Well, that too, but the fact that I don't know, he got his butt kicked. It's a little bit of a spoiler in the beginning of the movie.
That's not spoiler. That's just Karate Kid. That's like the Karate Kid formula.
You don't know?
I've seen them all. I've seen it all, and that's what happens.
But he got his butt kicked. That's something that might or might not happen in a Karate Kid movie. You have to see it.
This happened in all of them, and that's part of the formula. Like, despite his previous kung fu training, now he's coming in, like he's at a moment where like he's in a crisis. He's in a crisis, and he needs some help. And so that's the space for our mentors to come in. But I feel like we have a really good cast of side characters. Ming-Na Wen is there as a mom who also has her own growing to do. We have like the single mom, which also comes up a lot in Karate Kid.
Yeah.
A lot of single parents.
What happened to the Karate fathers?
Well, Johnny and Daniel-san had to step up.
Does Julie have a father? I can't remember.
I don't know. But they're not. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work to have like a mentor like that step in if you already have like.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like a sitcom.
Like Disney
Friends can't have
killing
strong
parents.
families.
Yeah, for plot reasons.
Yeah.
Since Snow White.
People with stable families aren't super entertaining. Not stable. People. Oh, never mind.
Oh, wait until you see the new Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I'm saying, when you've got everything like locked up at home, it's just.
Yeah. Well.
The point is, I thought it was enjoyable despite some like inherent flaws that I don't think they could get past. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. No,
you have
it
to
was
see it
fun.
in the theater? Probably not. You could stream it. I think that would be fine.
It was fun. Yeah, there's so much going on in the theaters now. But if you're a fan, yeah, it's cool. You know, see Pat Morita on the big screen again. It was nice.
Jackie Chan has some great moments. There's some very cool kung fu.
Yeah. No, Jackie Chan is great. I guess they wanted to get the band together, even though it was two different bands. And it worked.
There is a really fun post-credit scene, so do stick around for that.
It's post-credit? It was like mid-credit.
Or mid-credit.
It's right, yeah. It's right after the, which was, yeah, it was funny. And it makes me miss Cobra Kai, because it was so good. It was, contrary to certain people, Karate Kid was formative for many people. It's fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't improve because it's a different chapter. So, you don't expect but it pivots the story from beginning, middle, and end. That's why they only made 3. And the 4th one, they went to a completely different direction. Maybe they wanted to make more after 4, more movies for Julie. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And of course, there's all the rumors that come with Karate Kid universe. It's like, oh, Jaden will be back to this one. Oh, Hilary Swank will be back for this one. To full circle legends, how's the name say? And if you're expecting that, it's not gonna happen. But it's fun. It's Karate Kid Legends, available on theaters everywhere. If you want to see, you must hurry because there's a lot coming out this week, next week, and summer is just starting, so it might lose its screen soon.
Yeah. Okay, that's not all we watched this week. We also streamed a really lovely little film called The Ballad of Wallis Island.
Yeah, about the shooting on the set of Rust.
Nope.
What?
I said The Ballad of Wallis Island.
Oh, okay.
You put them in order, my guy. Also, I said The Ballad of Wallis Island. So
I was ready for the shooting because
you were. We're not there yet.
Yeah, because
See, it says Karate Kid.
To balance it
Ballad.
out. Because talk about the good thing, and then let's talk about
the classic, the Oreo.
Final cut. Yeah, that people call something else.
Okay.
Is a poop sandwich.
Oh.
No,
okay.
poop sandwich is different.
No, well, this
poop sandwich is two bad things, right?
No. Good, bad.
Okay,
good.
Yeah, but
the name of the sandwich.
It's nothing bad, but it's a sad story.
It's really sad.
It's called The Final Cut, right?
Nope, Last Take.
Last Take, which the same, right?
Yeah.
No, Last Take. The story, the real
Last take, Rust and the Story of Halyna.
Halyna, oh gosh.
Hutchins.
Hutchins. The DP, director of photography of this movie, Rust. Shot initially in New Mexico. Produced by one Alec Baldwin.
And a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah. But he was the one that wanted to work with the director.
Yes.
And he flirted with the director.
Joel Souza?
Yeah. I was like, we need to make a movie. And he pushed for it. And it happened. And they went, it's a Western. Cowboys and such, and guns, and anyway, so they were shooting in New Mexico, as if you don't live under a rock might know. They doing a scene where Alec Baldwin is supposed to point a gun at the camera. He points a gun at the camera, shoots the gun, and kills the director of photography, and badly hurt the director of the movie that at that day were right behind the camera, which it does not necessarily happen all the time.
Yeah.
Because we have this thing called Video Village, where the director, the
DP,
the director of photography, producers, whoever is in the set and want to see what's going on during the shooting of the scene, they watch that in big screens, multiple angles, if there's multiple cameras.
Wasn't that a Lucas innovation?
Yes, George Lucas created that back in the times of
Was it for American Graffiti or Star Wars?
No. It's fairly new. It
Yeah.
was episode 3.
Oh, wow.
He created that. And Lucas' innovation for Video Village was because they could watch through monitors. That was not new. But Lucas created in a way that you could watch the scene, much better quality, much better apparatus. We could watch with roughly finished visual effects.
Ah,
It would
okay.
be not necessarily the green screen. Anyways, directors watched that there. But there was this whole mess going on the set. And that day, the Video Village was not prepared, was not ready for...
It wasn't an option.
Yeah. So they were right behind the camera. And then he shot the gun. The bullet went through her. And it stopped him, right?
Yeah.
On his shoulder. So...
Now, you might be asking, why the heck was there a live round and a bullet on a film set?
Yeah.
And that's a great question.
The movie was made by a friend of Halyna, also a filmmaker, and I think if anything was one of the little bit of a flaw on the movie that she said, it's like, I need to tell her story, but to do that I need to tell the story on how she died. And she did a terrific job telling the story on how she died. I think the rest of her story, it was like very, very little.
Yeah, there's a little bit in there about
Yeah.
about her, like, she came from Ukraine and had like another career. This was kind of a second career for her. How she was generally loved. Yeah, but not a lot of details about her personal life.
Yeah.
But I do feel like they were very thorough about what happened that day. Helped, of course, by the fact that there's just an abundance of footage, because not only were they filming, but of course everybody else is like filming and taking selfies and pictures, and the emergency responders had all their body cams. So there's just tons and tons and tons of like actual footage to tell the story, more or less as it happened, as far as we can tell.
Yeah, and we and willing participants, a lot of willing participants, people
Yeah.
that were involved with the movie,
Including the director.
and the cast. Alec Baldwin didn't say anything,
Nope.
but everybody else talked about it, and they gave the details about how it was a mess. How many
Yeah.
people, not only Alec Baldwin, that shot the gun, which of course he's very responsible. As a matter of fact, it was revealed on this movie. I didn't know this detail until now, that he was not supposed to shoot the gun. He was just supposed to do the spinning.
You're just supposed to
and
pull it out.
Pull it out, like in a threatening,
Yeah.
gonna make you famous type of way. He did shoot the gun unnecessarily. But again, talking about unnecessity of things, there was the real live bullets.
Yeah, it should
that
have been.
Didn't need to be there.
Even if it was, maybe silly or unnecessary for him to pull the trigger, there is absolutely no reason why there should have been live bullets in there, or even live bullets on set. Like it makes no sense. And so that, and they get into a lot more background of just like a lot of really dangerous, sloppy safety practices happening on the set, and things that had happened before, which is in fact why there was no video village that day. The other camera guys just walked off. They're like, we're done. This is too dangerous. This is a disaster. We're not going to be a part of this. And they left. I guess we're spoiling the whole thing. You really should just watch it.
It's a documentary,
Yeah.
so it's on the news. The movie gives more details, so it's not really a spoiler. But if anything, the set was chaos, as many sets of independent movies or even big productions. They were running out of money, and with running out of money, they have to hurry. They have to do things in ways.
But even before that, this is one that made me really mad. The armorer, she was only hired to be the armorer part-time, and then also a part-time prop assistant, so that they could pay her less, because a prop assistant doesn't make as much as an armorer. And so then she was getting like all these memos like, hey, you're not doing enough as the armorer, but also I need you to spend less time as the armorer and more time as the prop assistant, because that's where they really need your help. But also because you're rushing as the armorer, there's like unsafe stuff happening. So they put her in a really bad situation, really just to save a few dollars. And I don't know, there's just like all these things that led up to it that were totally avoidable, and with just like a little bit of caution. One person, well, there were a few people, like the camera guys who walked off set, they felt terrible. They're like, oh my gosh, if we were there, this wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have been behind the cameras. It would have been fine. But there was one assistant armorer who was like, yeah, I didn't check as much as I should have. And he actually pled guilty and got like 6 months of probation or something. But everybody else.
He was I think he was assistant director, the old guy.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, there was only one armor. He was the person in charge of the production. He was like.
But for some reason, it was his job. Like she was like, hey.
Yeah.
Hannah, the armorer was like, okay, check this.
Yeah. It was.
And he's like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's
because
fine.
it's his job to take care of everything.
Oh, okay.
So she would check, and he would double check. She works under him like everybody works under him. He was a producer, but
basically he's the only person like who was, as my understanding, he's the only person who was charged and was like, yep, took some accountability, owned up to it, and I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, but everybody else went through the legal battle that you probably saw on the news. That she got sentenced to, I can't remember how long she got. It was like 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, so the armorer was sentenced, and then Alec
Baldwin got away for technicality. Those some details of bureaucracy of juries, of justice procedures, and he got away with it. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, not even like, I don't know.
Nothing. Not even
probation.
Not even the usual Hollywood, community service type of thing. Donation of nothing. Absolutely nothing. He got away like he was completely innocent, and he was not innocent.
And he still insists. Like they play a clip where he's like, "It wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong."
Yeah, and he's not innocent in multiple instances, because not only he pulled the trigger, but he actually was one of the producers. So he was one of the producers who was in charge of the whole thing.
And part of that, creating that culture of like cutting corners and
So sad story. She was young. She was a mother. She was a wife. They show other jobs she did. She was a good photographer. She did some beautiful stuff. Definitely with a career coming. But it was stopped for the bullet in the desert of New Mexico. They did finish the movie. They had to move
in Montana.
They had to move out of the state.
Yeah.
And for some of the crew, if not most of the crew, they wanted it to finish for her. But I don't know.
It seemed like it was very cathartic for them too.
Yeah, but I still feel like even indirectly, they end up doing it for him because it's his movie. If he was not involved at the end, I could see it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're going to do it, because I definitely see the case for like, and especially Halyna's husband and her mother, like they want to see this last project, this project that she basically died for. You know, they'd like to see it finished and completed, and I can see that. But I'll be honest, like I don't want to see Alec Baldwin in this movie.
Yeah.
That just makes me feel a little queasy.
Yeah.
And so they show footage of the reshoots and of finishing the movie, and we see everybody there.
But him.
New armor, but we don't see Baldwin anywhere. And everybody there is like, it seemed like it was this very healing experience, like coming back together and finishing this work and facing the trauma and doing things right and carefully and all that. But he's not there, and I feel like if he was there, it would have really changed that.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been such a beautiful
Or
experience.
maybe, I mean, it could be the documentary crew was only allowed on the set when he was not there. Or he made sure to not be there for them because he was still going through.
But even in that like big like cast and crew photo they took,
the wrapping picture,
he's not there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they killed him on the movie. I mean, it sounds gruesome, but it's like better to die on film than die in real life, right? I don't know. We might see, because I'm curious to see how they wrap it up, because it's tragic, and it's not like what happened to Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee. Many years ago, that he died on set, shot by a real bullet when there should be a blanket. A blanket. Yeah, of course. Nobody dies with a blanket either.
Well.
Anyways, and there was like, we know he died. That was the inverse, right? He died on screen by an unknown. In this case, it was a known person that shoot the gun that killed an unknown.
You're losing me.
An unknown person off screen.
Oh.
So it's a little bit different, but it's sad both ways. And let's hope that doesn't happen again. But again, productions are chaotic, and they not only change all the time, they run out of money, and there's the vision of the director, and that's what the producer wants, and that's what is possible to do it all together, create all sorts of chaos. And this one was a fatal one. But anyways, let's take Rust.
And the story of Halyna.
It's available on Hulu. You should check.
Okay, now the Ballad of Wallis Island.
Yes. This movie, we saw the trailer multiple times going to the movies in the past months. And it was interesting. It was fun. It was funny.
I enjoyed it. It was sweet.
It had what's her name?
Carey Mulligan.
Carey Mulligan, who is very talented. She's always in some good stuff. So it had everything to convince one to go see it. This movie is a feature film, but it was an adaptation of a short film of similar name. I can't remember the name, but very similar name. It's the name of the singer plays Wallis Island. And it's the story about this rich person, but it's not like you might imagine a rich person that hires a singer to sing for him. It's much more complex than, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bezos hiring. Bruce Springsteen or some whatever to go sing for him and his wife or girlfriend or whatever. This one it has a lot more heart, and it's very entertaining, very 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 funny. And the character, one of the main characters, the Charlie. Is that Charlie? Is that?
Yeah, that sounds right. We'll call him Charlie for purposes of this podcast.
Well, you have to call him by the right name.
All right,
People are gonna watch the movie. It's like, hey, I watched the movie. There was no Charlie there. So he's like a pun machine gun.
Yeah,
it's
my man does not stop. The puns, the wordplay.
Yes.
Yeah, Charlie.
Charlie. Yes.
Yeah.
So Charlie hires the singer to go sing for him in Wallis Island. This beautiful, idyllic place.
Super isolated.
Yeah, where he lives with his tennis balls. I guess he doesn't have a cat, doesn't have a dog.
Nope, but he does have a tennis court.
Yeah, and he practiced his
serve,
which is really good. So he hires this singer to sing for him for a concert.
Yeah.
And for less than 100 people.
Yes. And I don't want to like give away too much of it because the way the story unfolds is very meaningful, and it has a lot of things that these things do. It exposes some, like deeper issues that people are working through, and it's just really lovely. But it's all couched in this isolated little island and this really funny guy, and really nice music, and it's a really sweet.
Yeah,
it's a really sweet music.
The singer has his problems, has his background, and he's like grumpy. So you have like grumpy, and you have like funny, and they clash in different ways, in good ways, bad ways, and at the end you have to see the end. Karen Mulligan arrives to the scene, and that's all in the trailer.
With chutney.
Because she was a partner with this main singer.
They used to be a duo.
And a couple. And it's a surprise for the first singer. It's like, wait, you invited her? It's like, yeah, of course. And there's a reason why he invited them both. He loves their music, but there's more to it. And there's
more to all of it.
Yeah, you have to see it. It's good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
This is one I would wholeheartedly recommend.
Yeah, it's not like Karate Kid, but it's good too. But it's available. Where did you see that one?
I don't remember.
Was it Paramount or was it Peacock?
Oh, look, I get the two mixed up.
Yeah.
They both start with a P.
Ooh, and then if I can say.
Yeah, I know. Stream ballad.
It was like the whole joke with HBO Max became
Peacock.
Max. Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like there was some other cutting names of streaming, and people was like, I wonder if they're gonna cut Peacock.
Nope. Nope. There is no way that they can cut that. That will be good.
Anyways,
the
Ballad of Wallis Island.
It's available on Peacock.
It's available on Peacock. It's fun. It's a nice date movie. And yeah, it has good music. The music is good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and it's all original. I mean, I don't know if it's original for the movie, but the singer, the actor that plays the singer, he actually sings.
Yeah. So does Carey
Mulligan. Yeah, you should go see Peacock, available everywhere.
Okay, looking at the box office, Disney's Snow White has officially become their biggest live-action flop in nearly a decade. Yep. They lost over $115 million.
$115 million.
Which hurts.
Are they making up for that? They're not making up for that. But the movie is having a relative success on streaming, which again, it means nothing. They will never recoup the money.
Nobody's going to subscribe to Disney Plus to see this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a movie that's bringing people. It's more like, oh, that's
And even if they would, it's like you pay for the month where you can watch several things.
Right.
So that movie, that money is dispersed into the entire month. So no, it's never gonna get paid. But yeah,
Ballerina is.
But indifferent to that, even though with the controversy or with the crap they do at the end of the movie, Lilo and Stitch is doing really well. It's like for the third week on first place. Of course, going down is natural.
Yep.
But doing really well at the box office, beating even the new coming Ballerina.
Yeah, I suspect this has a lot to do with timing and the popularity of Lilo and Stitch in the first place. But the timing was really good. It's the beginning of summer break, like across the country.
Yeah.
Which means a family movie is gonna do a lot better than a rated R film. Because kids can go see this like during the day. I don't know. I think it just makes sense. The timing, they really nailed it. Disney's been pushing Stitch merchandise for like the last couple of years. So there's a lot of little kids who are just so invested, so excited about Stitch as a character. They love him so much, and I can see, even if the movie itself is maybe disappointing to people who love the original, it's got some stuff going for it that would at least get people to buy tickets.
Okay.
Anyway, Okay, so in a move that is sure to thrill moviegoers and get them to buy more tickets for sure, AMC Theaters is going to run even more commercials.
Yay!
Yeah.
Said nobody ever. Yeah.
Oh well. Good luck, guys. I guess it's more time to buy popcorn and milk duds.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers Discovery. Okay, so what's happening with Warner Brothers and their split?
They splitting.
Yeah.
So Warner Brothers Discovery, they got united. They got married. 6 years ago?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's say 6 years ago.
Okay.
Which is the average
It's been a minute.
a Hollywood marriage. Not counting the ones that last a week or two. So they merge as a company, Warner Brothers and Discovery. And everything was happy, and now they have HBO Max, and then becomes Max, and now it's HBO Max again. But they have like flops and fails, losing money, and then Biden economy doesn't help anybody, and all together. Anyways, they decide to split the company in two different companies. One will be the movie studios, correct? Yep. The other one will be cable networks. Is that
It's something like that. I feel like there's like the streaming in the movies.
Yes.
And then there's the
sports,
like the networks, the TV networks and the cable networks.
Yes.
Which includes like CNN and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, good.
Yes.
So yeah, mostly peaceful. But so yeah, they're gonna split, and let's see how this goes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it's not a good sign.
You think?
No, to split a company that was, allegedly was working to split. There's no.
But has anyone ever alleged that it was working? Because I feel like we've talked a lot about issues at WB and
yes.
And they're
yeah. But I mean, if it was working, they wouldn't split.
Oh, for sure. But I don't think this is a surprise that it's not working.
Oh yeah, no,
it's not like
yeah.
What?
We talked about David Zaslav last week on how the board said he gets a bonus, right?
Yeah.
And the board has a vote. It's just symbolic. He doesn't lose the bonus. And the board said like unanimously like, no, you don't deserve it. You still got it. You didn't give it back.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
And of course, there's Superman coming, and there's reports that it's doing good on sales, pre-sales, but it's still a James Gunn movie. It might suck, and if the movie doesn't deliver, there's like rumors that the movie costs between 250 million and 400 million total, and the movie would have to make 700 million to pay for the. And
unless this movie is so much better than everything we've seen in the trailer, there's no way. I just don't see a universe where that happens.
Yeah, but
because like there's some movies where like they in the build up to it, like they drop a little bit more, like the trailers, you see a little bit more and more footage, and you just get more and more excited. Like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be amazing! I can't wait. This one, every time they add a little bit more to the trailer or release a new clip, I'm like, nope, this looks worse.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things. Just to conclude what I was talking about the WB, if this movie fails, I can see a world where WB Discovery would sell DC Comics and DC properties. And that wouldn't be a win. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Imagine if Apple or Netflix.
I would not be mad about Netflix getting it.
Buying it, not Disney, because then it would only be the same Marvel stuff they do, which already is because it's James Gunn. So this movie is Superman by Marvel.
Yeah.
So it not only would be the same Marvel stuff that they do, but it would become part of their schedule. You know, it would be.
Yeah.
A Marvel movie, a DC movie, a Star Wars movie, and then instead of
well, maybe you get things spread out a little bit. I don't think Disney would buy them though.
But I mean, it would. I don't like that, because when you have a studio making a movie and you have another studio making a movie, they're not following each other's schedules. They might observe that for releasing purposes, but they could do like 2 or 3 DC movies in a year, when when Disney is doing 2 or 3 Marvel movies in a year. If they combine, it might be one Marvel movie, one DC movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they own everything. They don't have to make everything. But anyways,
Anyway.
if it fails, that might happen. But again, back to the relative success and the perspectives of the Superman movie, there's some things to consider. We live in a universe where people praised and loved some crappy stuff that Marvel did.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in a universe that people praised freaking Morbius, which was terrible.
Not many people.
Not many people, but there's people out there that was like more. There was like people wanting it back, and it happened. Anyways, it went back to the movies. So there's that to consider. Another big aspect to consider is that Superman is the biggest comic book hero property ever. And movie too. Go back to Christopher Reeve, to George Reeves, and to everything that was done by about Superman, the television shows. It's big. So there's people that were raised on Superman from Smallville, from Lois and Clark's The New Adventures of Superman, from before that, from the radio shows, from the old animation from Fleischman, from the comic books. So and it's like the Superman symbol is universally known, even though the first thing Gunn pooped on it was, instead of using the classic, he changed to his own. It's technically not his own. There's a version of the comic books that's just like that, but he changed. He didn't want to do, like everybody's doing. So I'm gonna do my own thing. So the first thing he did was to crap on that. So, but there's the power of the character of the universe of the franchise of that property, nostalgia from the recent CW show, from again Smallville, from the Christopher Reeve shows. It's multi-generational, and it will bring people to the movies. Absolutely.
Sure.
It's new. It's a beginning of a new venture on this so-called DC Studios. It might not be as profitable as they think, but if it fails, it's on them. It's on James Gunn and on WB, because it's their biggest name. If they fail with their biggest name, they should all be fired, because it's easy to make popular characters that nobody know popular, like they did with the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Sure.
To do a proper job and respect in a character that is known by everybody. Yeah, we'll see. And we see this Superman being beat up and playing with the dog, and he's going anti-American on this one. He's saying he's gonna deny his American way.
Yeah, and I think that there is an appetite for that kind of thing. Superman is not as, like, even though he's classic, he's iconic, he's the oldest, the biggest, the greatest, he's not necessarily he's not like a modern superhero, and a lot of what he represents isn't necessarily terribly espoused or wanted or interesting to younger generations. And I know I sound like an old girl, like kids these days, and I don't mean it that way, but like there is not necessarily an appetite for like the truth, justice, and the American way, and instead there's very much an appetite for like nuance and gray areas, and bad guys that are good and good guys that are bad, and
that's why I have Marvel
and things like that, and other characters. I feel like there's other places to explore that. And by all means, like, it's definitely something we can do. I feel like Star Wars did it really well with the whole, like, Darth Vader, but there's still good in him, and the struggling with the dark and the light within yourself. Like, there's lots of great ways to do that, and I feel like Superman, if you want to do that story, then don't do Superman, because that's not who he is.
Yeah.
And that's not what he represents, and we can have both. Like, Batman is a great way to explore that. Batman, like, mutilates people.
Well,
I don't know, like
mutilates is a little bit strong.
Okay, he hospitalizes people.
Mangled people.
Yeah, okay, mangled. Like there's ways to explore. There's DC heroes. There's all kinds of ways to explore, like the nuance and the gray areas and the complexities and all that. And that's valid, and it's part of the human experience. Superman's not your guy though. And I think it's important. We also need those heroes who bring a little bit of clarity and straightforwardness and simplicity. It's cathartic, but it also reminds us that sometimes you could just there is good in the world, and there's value in doing it and being good just for its own sake, and we need that, and we need Superman to be that, and I don't like that. This is probably going to take some of that away.
Yeah, it's yeah. Marvel has the nuance. The bad guys is being good in the crap they do. And DC it has the, the demigod that was raised by humans and lived among humans and understand how they tick because he's one of us, and he's good. He's justice.
Yeah.
He's the American way. He's the American way. He is what he was. He's not what he was born to be, because he was born in a different planet. He is what he was raised to be.
Yeah.
And about being raised and about life making you what you are. You have Batman, that tragedy made him, and his mission to fight crime unapologetically, and sometimes borderline on the outskirts of the law. And you have Wonder Woman, the symbol of beauty and perfection on the way of
power
love
and
strength and womanhood. Also a foreigner that comes to this earth. We have this it's like a modern mythology, not Greek but American mythology. You cannot mistreat these characters just because this is my movie. But nowadays with social media we have to touch these subjects. Like, no, it's like
technically you can,
good,
but is it gonna be good?
But
No.
good, yeah, it's like, but good remains good for generation, and that's why the character is so popular. The generations to come to want to be these people, to want to, they are role models on the best sense of the word. To make bad things about these characters is, it's just offensive in so many ways.
Yeah.
And again, if the movie fails, they will blame the fans, because we are always wrong, right? We only read that by decades.
Right.
And it's like, yeah. Anyways, that ought to say that Warner is a disaster, and even with the relative success of some things they put out lately, like Minecraft, they might not be out of the woods. And let's see if Superman take them a little bit out of the woods, or a bigger hole for them.
Yeah. All right, we are going to race through the rest of this because we still have a lot on our list. So, Warner splitting Disney. So, is Comcast trying to buy Disney's Hulu stake?
No. What happened is
buying,
they always had a deal. Fox owned a big stake on Hulu.
Right.
When Disney bought
Disney
Fox,
bought Fox.
they got that stake. But a percentage is 20-something, 23%, I think, always belonged to Comcast. It was a joint venture. But they had a deal that Disney could buy it back. And they finally closed the deal. In July 24th, they closed the deal, and it goes entirely to Disney. Let's see what happens if they keep it alive or they move everything to Disney Plus. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. Weinstein was oh my gosh, this trial in New York has been an absolute disaster. So he was found guilty on one count, he was acquitted on the second count, and then he got a mistrial on the third count of rape because the jury foreman refused to return to deliberations.
Yeah.
All of this reeks of corruption to me. But
sort of winning 2 out of 3 puts him on a very good position that his lawyer said, yeah, he will be back home like pretty soon.
Yeah, so that's great. The House did vote to slash public funding to PBS and NPR.
Okay, still going to the Senate.
Yeah.
But what became with an executive order is becoming official. PBR and NPS.
PBS. Nope.
No?
PBS and NPR.
Yes. NPR and PBS.
And PB&J.
What's PBS? Yes.
And
anyways,
NPS.
all these letters that make productions, they're going to have to find more money from viewers like you.
Yep.
Or they could be bought by a big corporation. We'll see.
Yeah, there's lots of options, but it could get tricky. And also just a good reminder that, like, Trump gets all the attention, but, like, the Senate and Congress, pay some attention to them, too. Okay, Destination X is a fun new reality show. The ratings are growing. You can watch it on Peacock. It's hosted by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. We are very much enjoying
It's
it.
fun.
Yeah.
It's NBC Peacock. It reminds me of like. And it could always do. They can almost do that. I don't know if they have to pay who they have to pay, but it's like Carmen San Diego.
Yes.
It's very Carmen San
It's like
Diego.
a geography-based mystery.
Yeah, with clues and things you have to know to get to a place and where. Yeah, it's
but
fun.
also with like reality show type personalities that make it just ridiculous.
JDM is doing a really good job as a host. He's Anyways.
Yeah. Okay, Alert Missing Persons Unit and The Cleaning Lady were both canceled at Fox.
Out.
But there's a whole bunch of fun new stuff coming. Teen Titans Go got renewed for their 10th season.
Yeah. Doing crazy shenanigans, shaking their booties and everything they do. If you know the show, you know what I mean.
We quote the show often. It is unhinged and delightful. Rachel Brosnahan is going to be the lead in season 2 of Presumed Innocent.
Yeah, the producer says second season will be juicy with delicious characters. I don't know what that means.
He actually said that?
The producer said.
Because that's kind of gross.
Well, that's what they said.
Okay, great. Scorsese made a deal with Fox Nation for a second season of The Saints.
It looks good. The first season. I mean, it's about saints. I really don't care. But it looks good. So it's a little bit of history. And by, Marty, it's,
Strange New Worlds has been renewed for their 5th and final season.
So I guess this Star Trek crew will go on their 5-year mission.
Yes. Also, it's so nice when they know the end is coming because, and like the season 3 hasn't even launched yet. So they have plenty of time to make nice story arcs that end in no excuses.
It's usually a good sign.
Yeah.
Not in the case of Rings of Power.
Well, obviously, but there's nothing good about that anyway. Will Ferrell is turning his Eurovision movie into a Broadway musical.
Yeah.
It seems like a natural fit. It's probably going to be a fun show. Marvel's Vision series has added Emily Hampshire of Schitt's Creek fame as Edith.
Yes,
So.
she's the friend. She's the girl
the
that
one
works
who
at
ends
a
up
hotel.
owning the motel. Yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna be Edith. I think Edith was voiced by. Was that Edith?
I don't remember.
Is that Spider-Man's AI? No, never mind. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Let's not spend time on that.
Okay, about the Scrubs reboot. What does Zach Braff tell us about that?
Yeah, he's gonna be a beat down JD.
Yeah, which is really what this world needs more of.
Yeah, more Luke
despair,
Skywalker's
downers,
like drinking milk.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Violent Night 2.
If we're lucky, maybe it would just be the first episode, the first half of the episode.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, they would. I hope they turn it around because that's.
Oh, he become Cox. Cox, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Dr. Cox. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Violent Night 2 is coming this Christmas. No, next Christmas.
Next Christmas.
Okay, that was one of those stupid fun movies. Spaceballs 2. First of all, it's coming.
The whole cast is coming back.
Yeah.
Mel
including
Brooks.
a 98-year-old Mel Brooks.
Yes, the Mel Brooks. I mean, not all cast, of course. John Candy passed away. But Princess Vespa.
Bill Pullman.
And his son.
Yeah.
Lewis Pullman.
Yes. So that'll be fun. There's already all kinds of marketing, like the Schwartz Awakens.
Oh, there's a teaser.
Yeah. It looks. Yeah, again, stupid fun. Mia Goth is joined Sean Levy's Star Wars Starfighter film.
With Ryan Gosling. The one previously announced. They offered to Anara star Mickey Madison. Said no. I'd rather be naked. No, she didn't say that. But, yeah.
Okay.
Mia Goth from recent horror movie success.
She'd have to be with a name like Mia Goth.
Yeah. I read somewhere, I think she's like has Brazilian roots actually.
Huh.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's her father or her mother, but yeah.
Interesting.
She's a mix.
Okay. Ben Stiller has been slated to direct a Twilight Zone movie.
Ben Stiller proved more than once that he's a really good director.
Yes.
Okay.
And with Severance. It's a natural step. Like Severance could totally be a Twilight Zone episode.
True. Yeah.
Or Twilight Zone concept. So that's a pretty natural fit. Another very natural fit for director is Robert Egger is going to make a Christmas Carol adaptation.
Yeah.
And they're looking at Willem Dafoe for Scrooge.
True. But
which, like, duh. That's like.
I hope he tones it down, right?
What?
Guess
Dafoe?
No, Albert Eggers. because
No, I think he wants it. I think it's his idea.
yeah, but I think he tones it down because what he did to Nosferatu, if it's Nosferatu like, I was like, geez, dude, it's like this is about the invention of Christmas. Don't stick to the dark.
Yeah, I know
Just
it needs
come back to the light a little bit.
This is true. This is true. But I think I hear you.
Yeah, of course. There's the dark. There's the but
and Defoe will be could be a really great Scrooge.
Oh sure,
I read the book every Christmas.
Yeah.
Like I think.
Yeah.
I think it could be good. I want to be excited about this. But yeah, he does.
Oh yeah, he's very talented.
He does need to be willing. Because the reason the story works and is so compelling, it's not just the invention of Christmas. It's like this incredible redemption arc, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like this guy's the worst, and then like very quickly he's like, oh wait a second, I do have a soul. I am a person.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And let's see if he stick to the source because it's been done so many times.
It has been done so many times.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of room for him to go nuts with.
Yeah.
The Victorian winter.
Yeah.
Darkness and with the spirits and anyway, sorry. Crazy Rich Asians is getting a sequel.
Yes.
Okay. Neil Patrick Harris is joining Deadpool VR.
And
what?
Ryan Reynolds is not happy about it, and he went all Doogie Howser on it. You can check online. It's funny.
Okay. The Harry Potter series, their cast is building.
Yeah.
And so far, I think it's really looking good. I think they're making good
calls.
calls.
The Malfoys, the Muggles, the Dudleys, the Hullies, and the Billy Bones.
Yeah. That was a really fun way of telling us you haven't read the books, like, at all. Okay, Hideo...
Wait, they don't have the Malfoys?
Huh?
And the Malfoys? And the Hatfields? Let's move on.
Hideo Kojima has a little gift for his staff for after he dies.
It's a flash drive with secrets, with future projects.
Yes.
As the genius can, he's leaving a piece of himself and the rest of us.
That feels like a very Kojima thing to do.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we know now how the world will end. OpenAI and Mattel have made a deal to develop AI-powered toys.
Worst case.
So that's it.
Worst case scenario: the machines, the toys take over. Like the War of the Toys, or we saw this movie called the Y2K about
that was funny.
The things that we use come to kill us. The worst case scenario is that. The best case scenario, you have Megan.
Yeah, this is the best case scenario. So like I said, this is it. This is how we go quietly into that good night. Not with a bang, but with a whimper of...
But we're not going to stay quiet.
Barbie and Ken.
If you're listening to me, you are the resistance. We will take over.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways.
On that note, folks.
That's it for this episode. It's Friday the 13th, so happy Friday the 13th. Don't forget to leave Jason some cookies.
Yeah. Also, maybe stay out of tanning beds and logging trucks. And
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I know that, but it's also just a bad luck day.
Okay.
So,
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you go to
I was reading some Final Destination memes earlier.
If you go into a summer camp and the instructors are... Anyways, you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But that's it. May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.